Hey there, how you doing? Charlie Winters here with free horse racing tips for Sunday, the 22nd of September. So these selections are based at Hamilton Races. So I'm quickly going to go through it. But first, a quick recap on yesterday. So disappointing day. I think we had about 13 or 14 pound return in the end. We got 3 out of 4 in the main Lucky 15 placed. Then obviously we had a few placed in the other bet, but unfortunately Run Boy Run ran disappointing, so let a number of bets down. The football bet just missed out by one goal in the not the Burnley match, not the Mansfield match, the Rotherham and Birmingham match, and we could only manage one sending off where we had doubles and upwards because Cardiff and Leeds there was a sending off, but unfortunately there wasn't one in the Rotherham and Birmingham match. However, I did see on the commentary after that there was a number of late chances. I know somebody hit the bar in the Rotherham match. So I think we're a little bit unfortunate, really, but that's always a story. It happens in every match where they have these chances. So before I get onto the selections, you can see the first, and the first one's extremely interesting, but I'm going to switch. I'm going to show you something that will help you. So this is, I'm going to Redcar, right? And I'm going to briefly show you one race, and I'm going to talk you through it and talk you through how there is a draw bias at Redcar and how it can benefit you in the future. So the best way for this draw bias to work is normally for there to be loads of rain heading towards the meeting and for it to dry out like the day beforehand. So what it is, the Redcar Races is on Wednesday, but however there is rain right up to the day and including the day. That's still okay, but for a more pronounced Redcar draw bias, if the racing is on Wednesday, we want rain today, rain Monday, and then probably rain up to dinner time Tuesday and sunny onwards, and it dries disproportionately. And also, I shall show you something else which is massive in my opinion. So here we are, Redcar. So unfortunately, there's a lot of advertising. I can't make it full screen up until the video's playing. So this is Redcar Racers. This is a 7 furlong race, and I actually tipped the horse for this day, or tipped the winner this day.
And we're ready. They're off. They jump away for the opening contest on 2-year-old Trophy Day here at Redcar. This is the racingtv.com/free trial EBS Stallion.
So I've just paused it very briefly. So I'm going to talk you through it. The stalls are positioned in the centre of the track, which they are normally. Sometimes they go near side. As you're looking at it now, the near side is the left-hand side of this screen. If they are near side, they normally make a rapid beeline for the right-hand side rail where you can see the horse in yellow and black. There's two of them on the right-hand side. So I'm going to press play very shortly. I don't know if you can see on the right hand side, looking at the turf towards the bottom right corner, you can see like tracks. I don't know if you can see them. It's very green in the centre and tracks a bit worn. And I'm going to talk you through it. And there's a draw bias, which I don't know even if they even know that they are doing it themselves. So let me click play. What I will say without having to keep stopping it is, look how far from 2 furlongs out the horses in the centre of the track finish behind the winner. The winner wins well anyway. It's the 2-1 or 5-2 favourite or second favourite. But look, it's like a national hunt flat race or something at Haydock when the ground's soft or heavy.
Stallion's novice stakes. Design is showing bright early speed. Likewise, Annie Be Good and also Sir Jock Bennett in the firing line.
It's very odd how they all head towards the centre as well. It's a well-known bias. This is the last time I'm going to stop it now. I want you to notice something. I want you to look behind the horses. There's a car on the right hand side. This car is pressing down. It's causing a draw bias. It's going right, as far as I know, to the finish line as a safety car. It is therefore it's what is it? A ton of car? 3/4? I don't know what a car weighs. I'm not really interested, but a ton of car pressing down on the turf. So in my opinion, they're creating their own draw bias. So I want you to watch the draw bias and I want you to listen to Angus McNay's comments at the very end.
Down the centre and then over towards the left-hand side, Annie Be Good racing just ahead of Sir Jock Bennett. The favourite Ararat is in that much larger group over to the near side as well in red and white colours. That one racing in company with Maltese Falcon, who's now just on ahead of Ararat. with Tiptown looking to come a little nearer as well. Hills of Gold is away to the very far left. Arkansas with a bit of work to do. Likewise, Magic Dollar as they head on down through halfway and now on towards the final 2.5 furlongs of the journey. Well back in the field is Malin Head, Sea Rovers, and likewise Ladies Charm. Making the run down to the final 2 furlongs, the light blue colours of design down the centre of the track with Maltese Falcon. Lady Mojito against the far running rails though is doing
Look
very
at them
well
now,
indeed.
really spread out.
Front clearly overall. Lady Mojito taking them inside the final furlong with a 4 or 5 length cushion in the hands of Ashinor. Surely has it won. Second place is Maltese Falcon. Then in third.
Listen to Angus McNay in a second.
From a long way out, Lady Mojito has absolutely routed them in the first. Maltese Falcon was second. Design.
Look at the distances. Listen.
Well, Lady Mojito's bolted up for Ashinor and Richard Fahey. Was always in front over against that far rail. And was got in at 11 to 4.
Listen.
A hint that jockeys take for the rest of the racing on the straight track. It might tell a tale for the Redcar 2-year-old trophy a little bit later on. It certainly looked like that was the place to be over on the far side. She's won decisive.
So as you can see, there is a draw bias, and it's made more pronounced by the car going over the tracks as well, or creating tracks, creating a golden highway. So let's get on to Sunday's selection. So there's a race meeting at Redcar. I believe there will be a draw bias. I hope the stalls are on the near side because it'll be even more pronounced then. They've also got their big meeting coming up either this Saturday or the Saturday after. But let's get on to Sunday's 3 horse racing selections for Hamilton races. So the first selection, it's a 10 pence each way, lucky 15, 25 pence each way singles, which takes it to a fiver. The first selection is Batman's Boy at 12 to 1 in the 212 at Hamilton, paying 3 places instead of 2. I went for this race because it's a 3 places instead of 2, but I went through, it's a 2-year-old race where none of them, or very few of them, have really ran. The more fancied horses have ran. I was taken by the jockey booking, Jason Hart. I was taken by the fact that this is I think it's an Adam West horse coming from Epsom. So it's a good journey. And you think, well, does he go there for a reason? Well, I looked at his strike rate for Adam West. Well, he's not really a prolific trainer, but he sent 6 horses to Hamilton. 2 have won, which makes it a 33% strike rate. Another of the horses came second, and the other 3 came nowhere. So it's got a 50% place strike rate, but it's got a 33% winning strike rate. So I'm interested in this horse at 12 to 1. I think it's too big a price. It doesn't have to be fantastic to win the race. So the first selection, as I said, is Batman's Boy at 12 to 1 in the 212 at Hamilton, paying 3 places instead of 2. The second selection is Cuban Rock at 5 to 1 in the 242 at Hamilton, paying 4 places instead of 3. I've tipped this horse recently and it ran well, and it could have, should have won that day. It's ran disappointingly at Musselburgh since. I've looked at it, and this race clearly looks like it favoured high numbers that day when it disappointed. It was drawn 3. I've looked at the first 4 or 5 that came home. It was 11, 9, 7, 8, and clearly, in my opinion, it fancied the horses that were drawn high. This was drawn 3, and it ducked to left when it came out. It can do that anyway, but I think this horse with there's no draw bias, and if there is, I'm not too familiar with the draw bias at Hamilton, but if there is a draw bias, hopefully this one's got it. I think this one's drawn 8 this day at Hamilton, today at Hamilton. So it's Cuban Rock at 5 to 1 in the 242 at Hamilton, paying 4 places instead of 3. The third selection is a selection I chose for, was it Friday? Rock Melody at 9 to 2 in the 342 at Hamilton, paying 4 places instead of 3. Well, I tipped this horse partly because Harry Davis was on it on Friday. Well, I've just looked at it looked like he was dropped off that day or didn't make the ride or whatever, for whatever reason. It was Amy War. Amy War is more than capable. I believe it's Paul Mulrennan back on today. So Rock Melody, actually, it ran a cracking race, but it was drawn on the wrong side. Not because there was like a massive draw bias because of the ground. I believe there was absolutely nowhere near enough pace that day. It was only beaten 5 lengths in the end, but it came 16 of 24, but only beaten 5 lengths, which, to say there were no pace, I think it ran an absolute cracker, and it was travelling well all the way. I was watching, I think I've got a right chance here. Then I realised that the far side were well ahead with the pace, and that Diligent Resdev won it, which I was kicking myself because I did fancy it, but I just didn't think it had the pace for that distance. So yeah, this horse I think has got a cracking chance. This race is worth winning because it's £5 and I think they'd be happy taking £5 towards the back end of the season with a well handicapped horse that is actually running quite well. And the final selection is Wadacre Tivoli at 15-2 in the 12 minutes past 4 race at Hamilton. This horse only disappointed on soft ground at Pontefract, but it was quite a warm race, and I think it maybe did a bit too much. It raced wide early, it was prominent, and the horses in that race were rated, or Racing Post ratings, of around about 80s. I think it was too warm a race for this horse. It wasn't ready for it, and it paid for going a bit too quick in the soft ground. You could say that Mark Johnson don't want soft ground, and I wouldn't really disagree with you, but this horse, the sire, is Churchill, and Churchills love soft ground. So I'm going to give it another chance because after that disappointing Pontefract run, it then ran a decent race last time. I can't remember where it ran, but it made the running, and it says weaken gradually. Well, I don't mind weaken gradually because next time after it weaken gradually, they tend to stay on a little bit better. And I think with Joe Fanning on board, if this horse gets to dictate its own pace, and it does actually handle good to soft ground, which most horses handle good soft ground, I think this horse has got a much better chance than the 15-2 the bookmakers are actually giving you. So I've got 4 selections there that, in my opinion, they're really interesting. Is there a guaranteed winner? No. The horse I'd be most expecting to win would probably be Rock Melody, but obviously it's the shortest price, -2, but it is in good form, and I think if there's a decent pace and it can get buried away, come the late run, I think it's got every chance. So those are the 4 selections. The selections tonight for Monday's racing will be a free bet, so I won't have actually placed the bet, probably anyway. So these are the 4 selections for Sunday. If you can give me a comment, a like, a subscribe, or click the notification bell, so then you will be alerted when I next do a late video, or just any video in fact. So I appreciate everybody watching this video. So the very best of luck. Charlie Winters, over and out. Cheers, mate.